Here we are today with our 4-week-old Labradoodle puppies from the Sweet Pea litter at Van Isle Labradoodles. Today's video is going to be the 4-week update for these puppies. So we're going to tell you a little bit about each of the puppies, their weight, we'll let you have a little bit of an update on Ripple, and we'll give you news of the litter overall. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and these puppies are all mini chocolate Labradoodle puppies. They are also sables, so that means their colors are all a little bit different within the litter. And this is also a dual sired litter. And that means we have two possible sires. We have Smoochers, who is our little mini Labradoodle, who's all chocolate. And we have Trip, who's also a mini Labradoodle, but he is a dilute chocolate tuxedo. So that is why we have lots of different looks, patterns, colors in this litter. And we'll give you a little bit of information about all of that as we go through the litter. Now, the main thing that's happened with the litter as a whole this past week is that they've all started to eat solid food. So as advertised from our 3-week update for these Labradoodle puppies, everybody has a little bit of crunchy food on them, and you'll see little bits of orange. Now, lots of times people say, how come when they have food stuck on them, it's orange? Well, the reason for that is because we put pumpkin in their food. Pumpkin is one of the things that is a really great addition for all dogs' diets, and Labradoodles are no exception. So by adding pumpkin, which is a natural probiotic and also adds fiber, we help to make sure that the transition to a solid food is an easy one, digestively speaking. So that way we don't run into issues with diarrhea or constipation or any tummy upsets for these little guys. Because of course at 4 weeks old, their immune system and their digestive system is all still developing and is quite immature. So you have to be careful with how you introduce food to them. And you want to do it gradually, safely, and ensure that everything goes smoothly. Because of course we want them to enjoy their eating experience. So these guys have been having solid food now for about a week, and they're all doing really well with it. And by solid food, what that means right now for them is a plain rice pablum mixed with goat's milk and the pumpkin. And that's it. That's all they're having for now. Next week, when we do our week 5 update, they'll be starting on regular raw food. And that's always another big transition for them. So we'll explain that a bit more in next week's video. So let's get started with each of the puppies, and then we'll finish up with a little update on Ripple. So this is our firstborn puppy in the litter, and we're going to go through all of these Labradoodle puppies in their birth order. And this fellow, he is quite a guy. This is our puppy with all the character. He is often featured on our Van Isle Doodle Facebook page because he's always sleeping in the most hilarious positions. Upside down, always. But he also doesn't run around, but he also flails around with his paws, and he gets all sorts of really interesting and laughable positions going on while he's sleeping. So you'll see a lot of photos of him, not because he's anything particularly special in the litter, but just because he's the one with the character and makes us laugh the most. So this guy is the firstborn Labradoodle puppy in the litter, as I mentioned, and he's also the largest puppy. Him here. He has been consistently the largest puppy for the first 4 weeks. Will that hold true for the next 4 weeks? We'll just have to wait and see. So this guy, he is a chocolate phantom Labradoodle. And because he has white under his chin and on his chest and on his back toes, he's also got a third color, which makes him a tri-Labradoodle. Now, technically speaking, we would have to do his DNA testing to be sure he carries for party to make him a tri, but he does have the 3 colors, so we're just going to refer to him as a tri to make it simpler for everyone to follow along. And this guy is almost at 2 kilograms. He was the first one to get to 1 kilogram, and he's probably going to be the first one to get to 2 kilograms. He is 1.93 kilograms. So it's interesting because he actually already weighs more than a couple of the puppies in our surprise pack litter, which are also mini Labradoodles, and they're 6 weeks old. So this guy's a bit of a tank, and he certainly knows how to get the groceries from the milk bar, and he does very well eating from the pan. So that's our gray collar boy. Next, we're going to have light blue collar girl. We're just going to have Reynolds switch the puppies out here. Hi, baby. How are you? So light blue collar girl, she's the second born. And you can see she looks quite similar to gray collar boy, except for her white is much more predominant. So she too is a chocolate phantom mini Labradoodle puppy, but she is a tri-Labradoodle puppy. And you'll see she has quite a lot more of the white on her chest. And of course, you can see she has a lot more white on her head. This little lady is very girly. She is a little bit reserved, not shy, but she's certainly quieter than her brother. She's good at finding a spot at the milk bar, and she's doing really well eating out of the pan, but she's not as pushy as he is. He goes in and he makes sure he has the spot that he wants, whereas she'll go up and she'll just find her spot. She won't push anybody off to get a good spot. She's a very, very affectionate girl. She loves to be held, she loves to be cuddled, and she really enjoys her time with people. Now, we've started doing some sound desensitization with the puppies this week, and really that right now is just consisting of having them listen to different music during the day. And then whenever we come in, we use a really loud voice and we do different tones of voice. So we may come in and go, hey, hi, puppies, how are you? Or we may come in and say, hey, hi, what's going on? So we use lots of different voices so they become accustomed to those different tones. But always before we actually start interacting with the puppies, we use the happy, hey, hi, baby, he's a puppy. Hey, Joe, how's my girl? And you'll see how she responds to that right away. She gives me great direct eye contact, and she's asking for me to pick her up. Hey, that's a good baby. There is actually a scientific study that has said that using baby talk with your puppy is very beneficial for their development, their emotional development. Hello, sweetheart. Hello. So we use lots of baby talk with our babies all the time because we just love our babies, don't we? And Miss Light Blue Collar, she is very kissy, as you can see. As I said, she's a very affectionate little girl. And she's weighing in at 1.74 kilograms today. So she's going to be up over 2 kilograms by next week as well. So there, that's our little light blue collar girl. I love you, baby. There you go. Next, we have Mr. Green Collar. Now, Mr. Green Collar looks quite a bit different from the first two puppies. And Mr. Green Collar is this absolutely stunning caramel extreme party. Now, he is mostly white, but he has the beautiful dark caramel, and you can see each week that this caramel on his ears is darkening. He has a little bit of caramel on the top of his head and a little couple of splotches of caramel on his back. And then his beautiful eyes, which are just ringed in the caramel. So this little mini Labradoodle is really just a stunner in terms of looks. Now this little one gets a ton of extra attention from me because he's the tiny one and he's a little bit quieter, and you can see he's looking just a tad worried because this isn't our normal thing. Hey, Joe, baby. Hi, it's mommy's right here. Oh, dude, such a good puppy. Dude, such a good puppy. Yeah, it's just me. Yeah. So I spend a lot of extra time reassuring him and giving him lots of baby talk. And usually within about 30 to 40 seconds, he's perfectly content. But you can see right now he's shaking a little bit because he's just a little concerned that this is not how we normally do things. Bear in mind, this is the first time ever that any of these puppies have been separated from their litter mates. So even if they're being held by me, the fact that they're here on their own, out of their bed, with a bright light shining in their face is quite a big experience for them. Now, Mr. Green Collar is our little tiny one. He's the littlest in the litter, and he's 1.36 kilograms. And like I said, this boy is the soft touch. This is the gentle boy. This is the quiet one. And you can see he's yawning, and he's yawning not because he's tired. He's yawning because he's stressed by this whole experience. And when we first did the sound desensitization, he ran for the hills. Now he's quite used to it, and he's fine. He's just a little baby who needs just a little bit more attention to get things done, right? And you'll notice his eyes are blue right now. So all the puppies start off with blue eyes, and this guy will mature and his eyes will either be green or they'll be hazel. Most likely they'll be hazel, but they're going to be absolutely the most beautiful and expressive eyes because they are really going to stand out with that caramel coloring around them and the fact that he has that predominantly white self. Right, handsome? Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you, yes. So that's our little Mr. Green collar. Next we have Navy Collar Girl. Hi, baby. Now, Navy Collar Girl is a really good puppy to show you how the coats are lifting. So you can see how her coat is sticking up here, but it's actually flat over here. And then we have a little bit of sticking up going on over the ears here. So she's going to look a little bit like she's got wings on the top of her ears. Then quite a bit of lift going on over here. And then we have this little straight strip. So when her coat first started lifting, she had just one little ridge over here. It was just hilarious. Everything else was flat, like it is when they're born, and then just this one little section. So she looked like she'd really had a really bad hair day and made a big mistake with her blow dryer. Used too much product, perhaps. So when the coat is lifting, this is what happens as the coat matures and we start to get those beautiful, lovely, fluffy waves that Labradoodles are so famous for. So one of the trademarks of Labradoodles is the fact that they look like a beautiful cuddly teddy bear. And this gorgeous lifted fluffy coat is part of what gives them that wonderful teddy bear appearance. Now, Miss Navy Collar Girl is really very much the same in her appearance to her mama Ripple. She is a chocolate sable mini Labradoodle puppy, and she has absolutely stunning colors that are going to continue to change for the next, probably at least year, maybe even through 3 years. Ripple's coat has changed color for about 3 years and is now settled to the color it is. But you'll see on her face that there's different tones of the chocolate, from the very light caramel color through to a sort of a milky chocolate, and then on her ears a little bit of a darker chocolate. Originally, when she was born, these ears were quite dark, but they've already started to lighten up. And you can see on her face she has all those beautiful different colors going on. Does that make her very beautiful? Oh yes, I think it does. I think so. This little girl has tremendous eye contact as well. She is very responsive to voice and she's very responsive to touch. She's nicely in the middle of the pack. She's not horribly outgoing or bossy, but she's certainly not reticent in any way whatsoever. She does look for people for reassurance. So when we do a new noise sound, if she's not too sure what it is, she'll search for my feet, and that's where she likes to hide. If she can't find my feet, because sometimes when I do the noises, I'm outside away from where they can get to me, so they don't know the noise is coming from me. Then she'll go and she'll duck her head under the bed, because she figures if she hides her head in the sand like an ostrich, then nobody can hurt her, right? But she's also very quick to come back out. She does not require any reassurance to enter back out again and investigate and decide, oh yeah, okay, it's safe, right? So that's our little Navy Collar Girl. She is also doing really well in terms of the food department, and she's up to 1.72 kilograms. All these puppies, as you can see, have very big tummies. Oh, maybe she doesn't want to show you her tummy. Okay, we're not going to show our tummy then. Very, very generous tummies. Yes, there's no shortage of weight on these puppies. So that's our Navy Collar Girl. Hi, sweetheart. Next we have Purple Collar Girl. And Purple Collar Girl is a gorgeous dark chocolate party. Hello, sweetheart. Now this little lady, the party color refers to the fact that there's two colors on their body. So Ripple, Mama Labradoodle for this litter of mini Labradoodle puppies, is a party as well. So she has two colors on her body. Now the difference between an extreme party, such as green collar, and a regular party, such as Miss Purple Collar, is the amount of the second color. On an extreme party, their bodies are 95% or more white. On a regular party, it's 50-50 mix. So you can see this little lady is about a half and half. And you can see I can already make her little back foot go when we do the tummy rubs. This is a litter of puppies who really love the tummy rubs. Labradoodle puppies and Labradoodle adults are known for loving to have their tummy rubbed, but this litter, I think, must take the cake for enjoying the tummy rubs the most. This little girl is right in the middle of the pack. She's very similar to Navy Collar Girl. very easygoing. She's not at all bossy. In fact, she will defer to other dogs in the litter in terms of position at the milk bar. She also is doing really well eating out of the pan because she has quickly figured out it's easier for her to get her nourishment out of the pan than try to fight with all the big guys at the milk bar. Ripple is also starting the weaning process with the puppies, and she goes in, she feeds them. She is not very accommodating in terms of making her milk bar easily accessible. So they really have to work and fight to get their meal. And then she'll be there for maybe 10 minutes, and then that's that. She gets up and leaves. So and then she'll wander around. She'll go back in, she'll wash them, and she'll check them all out. After we film the video, when they go back in, she'll go in and she'll count them several times. She'll come back into the studio here, make sure we haven't forgotten anybody. I mean, after all, you can't trust those humans, right? Right, Miss Burpee? So Miss Burpee Collar, she is 1.51 kilograms. So she's the second smallest in the litter. And she is much lighter frame for now. She doesn't have that great big huge tummy that some of her brothers and sisters have. She's a much more even build because the other ones tend to gorge. She just eats at a more steady and reasonable rate. And you can see along here she has some of her food stuck onto her fur right now. They're a little bit young for a bath yet. We'll probably give them their first bath next week so they start to get used to that process. So just leave it stuck on. It doesn't hurt her in any way or anything. But how she gets that on her like that is when they're running around, they still don't have the best of vision, and so she'll often crash into the pan and slip and fall into it. So oftentimes their tails are covered, sometimes the side of them. Oh my goodness, there's all sorts of things that happen to a little puppy. It's a hard life learning all these lessons. This girl is a beautiful girl. She has the really interesting ear color here where it's partially brown and partially white. And she's going to be just the most stunning puppy when she grows up. Right, beautiful? Yes. And last but not least, we have her little sister who is almost a clone of Purple Collar. This is Miss Yellow Collar, and she too is a chocolate party mini Labradoodle puppy. My goodness, what a long explanation for a small girl, hey? So she too has that beautiful chocolate party marking. You can see her coat is lifting as well. Not as much as Navy Collar Girl, but it still is lifting. And would you like to look at the camera? Would you like to show everybody your very pretty face? Oh, say hi. Hi. Hello, everyone. So the difference between yellow and purple is you can see that yellow has the chocolate sable marking around her right eye. And you can see how the chocolate around her eye is a little bit different from the chocolate that's on her back or even on her ears. And you can see that there's different tones in it. And that's what the sable really does. The sable really makes different shading on each puppy. And it's unique for every single dog. It's one of the reasons I'm so crazy about sable, because it's always interesting and you never know exactly what it's going to be like. Hey, where are you going? Where's it going? This little girl is very similar to Purpy. The two of them hang out together quite regularly. They have pretty much the same mannerisms in terms of being very easygoing at the milk bar, and they're doing well at the pan, but they're the two puppies who aren't interested in stuffing themselves. Much more typical of a Labradoodle behavior, where groceries are something that don't interest them too much. I wish I could adopt that trait. Yes, maybe you could share it with me. Maybe you could. And Miss Yellow Collar is weighing in at 1.58 kilograms. So she's basically the same weight as her sister Purple, just a very little smidge of a difference. Hi, hi. Do you want to have your tummy rubbed? Oh, yes. There we go. So we'll let her go back. Normally I would keep her out here, but because, as I said, this is their first experience and first time away from anyone else in the litter, we like to limit that so that it's not overwhelming for them and it doesn't become a negative experience. So the main key for everything to do with socialization and desensitization of your Labradoodle puppy is that the experience is positive. So when I say we are doing sound desensitization, when we walk in the first time doing clapping, we don't go in and go and startle them, because that would just make them afraid and they would have a negative association with that. We start off going about that loud or even that loud, depending on the litter and depending how they respond. And we start a little bit of ways away from where the dogs are located, and then we come in and then we just make it louder and louder over time. And each time we give them something that is rewarding for them. So right now, their biggest reward is they get a cuddle or they get their tummy rubbed. So in Gray Collar's instance, his big thing is then that you will play with him a bit. He's already really interested in playing. Whereas with Green Collar, what he wants is to have you to be able to come right up against your neck and snuggle in. That's his reward. So fortunately, every single one of the puppies in the Sweet Pea litter have enrolled in our Head Start program. Yay! So this is terrific. That means we can start working with each of the puppies right away, because if not everybody is enrolled, then we have to wait until allocation when we know which puppies are in the program and which ones aren't. But by having the entire litter in the program, we can work with all the puppies right from week 4 when they're able to handle that sort of level of extra stimulation. So it makes it a really good benefit for the puppies, and it's a really huge benefit for each of our families. Now we're going to finish up with just giving you a little update on Ripple. Ripple's doing well. As I said, she's already decided that it's time to start weaning these puppies. She's spending less time in with them. She checks on them regularly, and she will walk by, she'll look in, go, oh yeah, everything's fine, and then she'll sleep just about maybe 6-7 feet away from the puppies, enough so that they aren't scenting her very strongly and getting upset and agitated that she's nearby, but enough that she can keep an eye on them and she can keep an ear out if anything's going wrong. So she comes in and sleeps with us in our bedroom during the night, and she goes back and forth to the puppies if they are crying or they need her or when she wishes to feed them. So she's feeding them about 6-8 times a day still right now, and that will start to get reduced. So over, not this week so much, but next week, we'll start to monitor that and cut back the feeding a little bit. Because Ripple is our dog and lives with us all of the time, we'll allow her to spend more time with her puppies if she wishes. We let our Labradoodle mama dogs dictate to us what is appropriate. Some mama dogs at 3.5 weeks, they're really just done. They'll go in and they'll feed, but they really aren't interested in their puppies that much anymore. And then we utilize one of our auntie dogs. So we use Spirit, or we use Ripple, or we use Peanut to go in and do the mama duties that the actual mom is not interested in. Other girls want to stay with their puppies forever. So Bernadette went home to her guardian family last weekend, and she was loath to go. She loved her puppies. She loved being with her puppies. She just thought that was the most fun thing in the world, to be a mom and have all these little mini Labradoodle puppies to play with. Whereas Ripple's like, yeah, you're cute, yep, I'll feed you and I'll look after you, but I would rather be with my mom and dad and play with my stuffy toy. Thank you very much. Does it make a difference to the puppies? Not really. If we didn't have any other dogs to interact with the puppies, adult dogs, I mean, it would, but we always have somebody here who's willing to go in and spend time with the puppies, show them the ropes. And we are also going to be looking forward this coming week to having the puppies introduced to new people. So we have our whole COVID procedure and process in place so that we can have Taylor and other people entering our home on a safe basis, practicing all social distancing, having everything sterilized, keeping the puppies safe, us safe, the people safe. And it's great. I'm so glad that we were able to work it all out so that it works for us. It takes a little bit longer to get everything set up and then cleaned up again, but it is worth its weight in gold in terms of the puppy and their development. So this week they're going to be meeting probably about 8 different people of all different ages and genders. So that is a wonderful experience for them. And when we do our puppy family visit next Saturday, you'll see that probably most of them are quite confident and quite outgoing. So we have that to look forward to next weekend. It's a bit different when it's done on Zoom and you're not here to actually interact with the puppies, but we do our best to make it still a really fun experience for everyone. So we hope you enjoyed the video and seeing all of these little mini Labradoodle puppies grow and develop and just start to show us their temperaments, and it's really a fun time. Their teeth are coming through, but not enough that they hurt yet. So it's still my favorite time. And we're going to do a new video for our Puppies 1, 2, 3 series showing you how to trim nails, because during COVID-19 a lot of us are doing a lot more of our dog grooming at home. So that'll be coming out later this week too. If you have any questions or any comments, please place them in the comments below this video. And if you enjoyed the video and have the opportunity, give us a thumbs up. And you may even want to subscribe to our channel so you get to see all of our updates and all of our other videos that are the educational types. Thanks so much for watching.